She doesn't chase every man. She doesn't lose herself in those who beg for her attention or shower her with flattery. She only pursues one kind, the man who carries stillness like a sword. The man who doesn't try to impress, yet somehow commands the entire room. The one whose silence speaks louder than another's praise. Whose eyes say, "I am not here to be chosen. I am here because I chose myself." That man is rare. He is not chasing love, not chasing validation. He is mastering himself. And paradoxically, that's what makes women chase him. A woman senses it almost instantly, that quiet confidence that cannot be faked. The energy of a man who could walk away from everything and still remain whole. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That realization is what separates the man who reacts from the man who rules. Women don't fall for weakness disguised as kindness. They fall for control disguised as calm. The man who disciplines himself doesn't beg for attention. He magnetizes it. His presence feels like gravity, steady, inescapable, and quietly commanding. Seneca warned, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." The man who gives himself to every pleasure, every woman, every distraction, dulls his own edge. But the man who withholds, who chooses with intent, who says no more often than yes, glows with an energy that can't be ignored. Why? Because scarcity creates value. The man who is not easily won becomes the prize. The man who doesn't seek approval becomes the approval itself. And here is the paradox Machiavelli understood centuries ago. People are drawn more to mystery than to certainty. Predictability kills attraction. Uncertainty keeps it alive. When a man doesn't hand over all his emotions, when his motives remain half-veiled, curiosity turns into obsession. Every unanswered question becomes a spark in her mind. She begins to chase not out of choice, but out of instinct. Because the unknown demands to be solved. But this is not manipulation. This is design. Women are not chasing cruelty, they're chasing mastery. The quiet assurance of a man who knows who he is and needs nothing to prove it. Picture it. Two men stand before her. One talks endlessly, trying to impress. The other speaks little. Calm, measured, composed. His gaze unwavering. His silence heavy. Which one lingers in her mind long after she leaves? The truth is brutal. Women crave the man who doesn't need them. Because in a world full of men desperate for validation, the one who stays grounded in his own purpose becomes a mirror to her desires. He doesn't chase pleasure. He chases growth. He doesn't beg for love. He builds discipline. He doesn't perform to impress. He is the performance. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And freedom is what women crave but cannot find in most men. When she meets a man who has mastered freedom within, who doesn't bend to her moods, doesn't flinch when tested, doesn't crumble under withdrawal, she feels it. That stillness becomes addictive. Most men fight for attention with excess. Too many words, too much praise, too little mystery. But the rare man fights with absence. His weapon is silence. His shield is patience. His victory is restraint. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." Translated into the realm of attraction, it's better to be respected than desired for a moment. Because respect endures, while desire fades. And yet, Stoicism reminds us, this isn't about playing games. It's about rising above them. The goal is not to make her chase. The goal is to shape yourself into the kind of man worth chasing. The man who wakes with purpose. Who builds in silence. Who stands unshaken when others crumble. He becomes the rarest of all. A man who needs nothing, yet attracts everything. So remember this. A man who rules himself never has to chase. Because every woman, consciously or not, chases the feeling of safety inside strength. And strength, real strength, begins with mastery of the self. Be the man who can walk away from temptation. Be the man who can stay silent in chaos. Be the man who would remain unshaken even if she vanished. Because once you master yourself, the world and her heart will follow. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Awaken Wisdom 708 for more Stoic philosophy, timeless psychology, and masculine mastery. Share this with someone who needs to hear it today. And remember, real power is quiet.